My name is Suze Allen, and I am the originator of Memoir Church. And it started about 4 years ago, where I wanted to highlight people with shared stories, memoir stories, because I really believe in them. I think it grows our empathy, it gives us more love in the world, more understanding, more compassion. And I just feel like that's a way to connect us and to keep us afloat in difficult times and in joyous times, that we can share our lives with one another more deeply than the usual, hey, how are you? What are you doing? And more about what's going on inside of us, where we say, hi, I'm here. I've lived this. This is what I think about. This is how I face the day. This is what happened to me in my life, and this is what I did with it. This is what it meant to me. And that's what memoir is about. It's not about the happenings, it's about what it meant to us, what it felt like, the purpose it gave us, the choices we made, how it made us feel. And so, and then when the world sort of turned upside down, with the politics, I wanted to do something that really promoted joy as resistance. So I started Writers Resistance Living in This America, which is part of this series. And I welcomed this new group that I have also co-founded, and I'll introduce you to my co-founders. It's the Philogyny Global Alliance. And I felt so strongly that I just wanted to promote women's ways and women's work and how we create life and we bring life into us, and how we nourish and how we sew and stitch and gather and love, and the men that have this divine feminine in them. I wanted to promote that and celebrate it. And that's why we're here today. These are going to be stories about phylogeny. Phylogeny is the love, respect, and admiration for women and girls. And it's the antonym and the antidote for misogyny. And so spread that word. Spread that word. If we do nothing else, if we just let people know that there is something to the way that women move through the world that create these soft and beautiful spaces. And I can't say enough about it. So I think I'm tired of the whole rhetoric about abolish, we have to blow it up, we can't stand that, and all the hate that I've been feeling towards things. I am not a hater. And so I wanted to find a way to love and make change. I'm a firm believer in the butterfly effect and the ripple effect. And that's why I'm here. And that's why these readers are here who are amazing. And I would like to introduce them to you, my co-founders. This is Carrie Starkey, and I have to find Peter Welch. Here we go. Yay! So we are the co-founders of the Philogyny Global Alliance, and Peter was the person that told us about this word. He did a piece in Memoir Church in May, and we were all about, what's that word? What's that word? And Peter, do you want to say a little bit about how you found out about the word phylogeny?
Yes, well, I was teaching a women's and gender studies class in the probably 2010 at UNH, the University of New Hampshire, and I wanted to find a word that wasn't, as you said, Suze, was an antidote to misogyny. And so I didn't know what the word was, but I did a simple Google search and found phylogeny, and I was just like, oh my God, there it is, hiding in plain sight for all this time. So I've just been trying to share the word as much as I can in the world. It's such a beautiful, wondrous, important word.
Mm, thank you.
Mm.
And Carrie, you want to say about how you got involved?
Well, okay, it was through Peter's poem. It was through his sharing on your memoir church last month, and Eric, husband, said, "What was this word? Why have we never heard it?" And asked Peter for a copy of the poem. It came back. I immediately knew my gift to you and to Peter for thank you for the word, and to Roland for being a writing teacher, and of course to Boo, our third musketeer of strong and beautiful wild women who have been in my life. And now I get to celebrate each individual as I come to know them and share the word with them.
Yay. And Carrie made us our beautiful shirts where she embroidered, did needle pointed the word phylogeny. She also makes um,
Hair ties.
bands, hair ties that says phylogeny that are on little cards. And we are soon going to be announcing a collaboration with a woman who's making bracelets with the word on it. We just want the word out there. And on International Women's Day, which is March 8th in 2027, we will be doing a hopefully global event where everybody will on that day be doing an open mic of phylogeny stories. For now, I am going to just read our mission statement to start, and then I am going to turn the program over to our lovely readers. So this is who we are. The Philogyny Global Alliance is a movement by and for all genders founded by Suze, Carrie, and Peter to promote phylogeny, the love, respect, and admiration of women and girls, as well as women's work and the soft but strong spaces women make for us in the world. Phylogeny is the antidote and the antonym for misogyny. Phylogeny is the repellent for the oppression of the patriarchy, which has wreaked havoc on a global level for far too long. Phylogeny can dismantle the adverse effects of the patriarchy. Phylogeny is a way of being that supports creativity, emotional intelligence, and availability, holds pain and suffering, sparks evolution, grows empathy, and embraces women's witchy ways, intuition, and inner knowings, encourages time in nature and awe, both in solitude and in community, as well as fosters artistic expression, authenticity, and inclusivity. As phylogenists, we believe the universe and all its realms support us when we practice reciprocity and kindness and revere women's gift of womb love, nurturing, connecting, caring, and problem solving. The Philogyny Global Alliance's mission is to emanate love, inclusion, strength, empathy, and understanding, to change the world like fluttering butterfly wings change the way the wind blows. A leaf falling into a stream redirects the water, and a loving heart full of adoration and compassion spins a web, an antidote to loneliness. Carrie, Peter, and myself are committed to extolling the gifts of the divine feminine that created us, buoys us, saves us, illuminates our path with levity, and shows us a softer, more tender way of being in the world. We believe phylogeny and the divine feminine teach us how to receive each other in compassion and create policy and community together that is centered on empathy and love. Thank you for joining us today for our kickoff event, and please join us in any way you see fit in our movement. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. We are going to, first up, we're going to bring Carrie, who is going to tell us about some women's ways.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Suze. It was beautiful. My story today is actually just a sharing of my stitching. I will show pictures of the stitching and tell you about them. This first one, let's see here. Well, first I learned to stitch when I was sad, actually, and it has helped me stitch my personal heart back together and feel the connected threads of all women's hearts. This first piece, Her Art Persists, one of my first pieces where I would find unfinished needle points at estate sales. Here, the fruit and the beige background circle were done. I added the colorful Bargello pattern and the words, Her Art Persists. Kind of difficult to see here, but because they're in light purple there. Her Art Persists. continuing in this vein, let me get you set up here. Sorry for my low tech. This is called In the Poppy Field. Only the sky was done when I found this treasure. And I modernized the unfinished work. So I changed the pale colors of the skin and their white dresses to be more modern and inclusive. Number 3, let me get you set up here. This is a big one. This is probably 24 by 24. Those others are like, oh God, sorry. Those others are like about 12 by 12. Get back a wee. This is called Rage, Yes, and Hope. I found this with the roses in the center done, and then I added the black and white Bargello background and words. This was for a group show entitled Rage, in response to the 2022 Supreme Court overturning of the Roe v. Wade ruling. Well, number 5 and number 6 are my current works of art. One for my friend Heather. This is a shirt that I've embroidered for her. Those first pieces were needlepoint. This is embroidery, and this is for her awesome husband, Toby. Both of them are artists, and both of them are philogynists. I love sharing this word in a way that's comfy, fun, and starts meaningful conversations. I love to be in circles of women.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much. Okay, and next up we have Peter Welch.
Thank you, Suze. My piece is called Philogyny as Self-Loving, Self-Loving as Resistance. As the DVD player warms up, I pass the disc case around the classroom. Its cover spells out self-loving in groovy dark letters outlined in pink. Then 3 different size fuchsia hearts, cocooning smaller hearts inside. Then two curved lines through the heart center like folds. Then a round pink button at each cusp. The students have been prepped for today's class, something revelatory. The air in the classroom is warming up, a murmuring heat that wafts through and among us. As the video begins, I dim the lights. I want these moments to feel private and thought-provoking, and also exciting, liberating. My blood rushes as my heart thumps with anticipation for each of my students. Projected onto the screen at the front of the classroom, Betty Dodson is flanked by a circle of women, weaving itself into existence, creating a self-pleasure philogynist sanctuary. These sexual pioneers have left their clothing at the door and with intention made their way into a large living room that's been transformed into a sacred breathing room designed for healing and celebration. Colorful yoga mats fan out on the floor with a tall candlelit epicenter, a starburst of hope and light. Women from all walks of life take their place around the circle, sitting cross-legged. They are ready. Your beautiful naked bodies are distinct in color, shape, and design. This is where Betty begins. The students in the Women's and Gender Studies class that I'm teaching are quiet, mesmerized by all that is honest and revealing on the screen in front of them. After Betty's welcome, she opens with what she calls a genital show and tell, where each participant has a turn by Betty's side as she enrooms them, mother-like. During these moments of discovery, the other women look on, expectant and curious like teenagers at a sleepover listening to each other's coveted stories. I casually glance around the room, listening with my eyes. Each woman self-inspects with great tenderness and deep curiosity this rarely explored body place, her vulva. I watch the video peripherally and continue combing the room. I want to know how my students are doing. They sit quietly, poker-faced. Few have taken their eyes from the screen. After each woman has a turn, the group takes a break for snacks or to use the bathroom, then rejoin the circle. Here, Betty passes around personal vibrators like a teacher handing out crayon boxes on the first day of school. Then she provides instruction and demonstration of their use. Try, try every crayon color to see which is your favorite, I imagine her saying. Static electricity wheels around the classroom like invisible fireflies, unsure of where to light. In a class debrief after the video ends, I ask students to write about their reactions, unfiltered. Later, I will read them, gleaning their tender revelations, then share their insights back to the class, anonymously to respect and protect their privacy. Nearly every student will say how Betty has changed them, a reshaping of their understanding of body and pleasure in profound and life-altering ways. Sexual agency. As the credits roll, my eyes scan the classroom, taking in their curious and kind faces. Shards of light reach from the drawn window shades. It's November in New Hampshire. The outside is cold and damp, and dusk approaches. The physical classroom, though, has become warm and buttery, waiting for something to begin. I open the door and air rushes in. Betty Dodson, the evangelist of sexual self-pleasure, died on October 31st, 2020 in New York City. She was 91. Her book, Sex for One, has sold over 1 million copies and been translated into 25 languages. Betty's transcendent work continues on now through bodysex.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
I love knowing about her. Yay. Yay for pleasure.
Yay for pleasure.
And Gianna Gowan, you are on. Hello.
Hello, thank you so much for asking me in. It's a different perspective. My piece is called Memo from Mother, Time with Tamalpais. She welcomes me as I arrive into her domain, the road carved into the mountain like a snake going up an incline. The trees offer a canopy above, reaching lightly towards one another, swaying in the wind. Up and up I go, climbing up the mother. I see you, she says. I've been waiting for you. Just then, a wide-winged turkey vulture slices the air above me. The thermals lift him up effortlessly, and he veers off to the left and then dips into the crevasse of the canyon with ease. Seeing this act of skill and precision, it was as if the mountain is winking at me saying, cool, right? And I immediately feel a wave of calm wash over me. I arrive near the top of the mountain, Tamalpais. I'm called to the sacred spot that shares a view of the ocean, a taste of the wind, and ancient veins of serpentine. These veins glisten with blues and greens, mimicking the ocean below, mimicking the view of the earth from space. So gorgeous, these colors. Serpentine clusters large enough to sit in, a throne atop the mountain. I climb up and I settle in. I say aloud, you are so beautiful. She says to me, oh, that old thing. That serpentine was pushed up from 15 to 40 miles below just about 150 million years ago, but who's counting? You do look like royalty sitting there. I blush. I let my hands sink into the sides of the cathedra, so rich, so alive. Thank you, I say. Right in that moment, I feel life's density just melting off me, slipping into the chair. As I release it, the heaviness within my body, I willfully offer it to the sanctuary of this space. A wind acknowledges by lifting my hair slightly in the wind as my heavy load is accepted. A nod from Pachamama. I got you, she says. We are quiet together. She breaks the silence. The mountains, or Apus, they are the high ambassadors of this fine space and place, but let's be clear here. I am the boss. Gaia, Madre Tierra, Ancient Mother, Mother Earth, Pachamama, me. And here's what I want to say to you. You are not alone. I know it's hard to believe, but all you have to do is look below your feet. I am here. I am with you. We are connected every day, all the time. I have more strength than you can imagine. You can count on me. I have been burned, buried, blown away, and yet I am still here. I work in complete sacred alignment with the sun, that blazing ball of fire in the sky. He's not that big, really, but don't bring that up to him. Definitely don't say anything about Sirius, and absolutely don't go anywhere near Arcturus. Very sore subject. Let's just say I think it's a little bit of solar envy, but that's for another day. Okay, so what was I saying? Okay, yes, the sacred alignment. Me and the sun, together, we create. Without us, you don't exist. I don't mean to sound uppity, but it's true. Oh, I know. Here's a little bit of treasure that might lift you up a little bit, okay? Lift your spirits. Do you know how the sun sees you? I mean, what I mean is when the sun looks down from his point of view, the heavens, you could say, the celestial realms, another way to say it, when the sun looks down upon this tiny speck that you call Earth, me, okay, the sun sees you as a radiant, shining light. Yeah, it's true. It's so sweet because you are a radiant, shining light. Your tiny speck of cells are vibrant beams of love and light. It's a little sappy, but that doesn't mean it's not true. Because I know. I am a know-it-all. And honestly, that's why you should listen to your mother. So with that, I slide off my serpentine throne. I bend down onto my hands and knees, and then with my highest thoughts of love and gratitude, I kiss the ground.
Oh, Mother Earth, yeah, the original mother. Thank
The
you,
big mama.
Beautiful.
the big mama. Lovely. Oh, my stars.
Yeah.
Okay, here we have Jane Elkin. Hi, Jane.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me. This is really
Oh,
special.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm reading a piece I call Free to Be Ourselves.
Mm.
In 1971, when I was 11, Helen Reddy made recording history with I Am Woman. 6 years later, some women still said they didn't work because they didn't have to. In 1984, as a new mom and member of the Submarine Force Officers' Wives Club, I heard working women blamed for declining membership. That's when my peers started asking, "What do you do?" instead of "Do you work?" To which one friend with toddlers would reply, "No, I sit on the couch and eat bonbons." I have a master's in library science that I've never used. As a mobile military spouse, when I couldn't find work in my field, I took two part-time jobs, teaching French and music in a private elementary school and singing in America's largest Catholic church. Neither position paid well, but that wasn't the point. These creative challenges earned me respect while enabling me to greet my daughters after school and serve a home-cooked meal. Ironically, in 1999, that wasn't enough for my mother, a home economics teacher, who urged, "It's time you got your master's in education." I was surprised. Why would I want to do that? "So you can teach in public schools," she said, as if it were obvious. She used to say there were two paths to a teaching career: be certified or be certifiable, as in certifiably crazy. Now she was all about the benefits and retirement plan. I didn't need those things. My husband made a good living, and I'd mastered her lessons in home economics with a capital E. "I like things the way they are," I said, and it was the truest thing I knew about my life. I have time for my music, my sewing, my girls, a nap. "Wasn't it you," I reminded her, "who said you can have it all, just not all at the same time? Who said women were healthier before they worked full time? How they were less stressed than men because of it and had fewer heart attacks? How you spent the last decade of your career counting the days to retirement and regretted returning to work when you did?" Recalling that time when I was 8, the word bouleversement comes to mind. It's French for turmoil of a sudden nature. Her secretarial job was intended as a temporary buffer against rumored layoffs at the shipyard where my father worked. But she stayed for 6 years, pulling opposite shifts from him in the summers and hating every minute of the industrial noise, the rats, roaches, and foul-mouthed sailors, while back home, dust bunnies matured into sheep under our beds. She'd drag in 1 hour before Dad left for work, snag an apron as she kicked off her heels, then plug in the fry pan and toss some frozen veggies and burgers on the table with an angry thud. I sometimes watched from the threshold, hoping for an assignment, but our days of singing over saucepans were gone. 3 years into this routine, she added college to her busy life, declaring, "If I'm going to work the rest of my life, it's going to be at something I enjoy." And I enjoyed being a homemaker. She was good, but nothing like my Aunt Marguerite, who cleaned one grand home a week for $3 and bragging rights. Well, it was the president's mansion at Phillips Exeter Academy. Marguerite so delighted in laundry that her husband had to ask her to stop starching his boxer shorts when they got married. I just loved the way they looked all folded, smooth and neat in the drawer, she would say with a rippling laugh. She was wise enough to know what brought her joy, and honest enough to admit it was the simple things. I wonder now what Mom would say about my friend who found her joy homeschooling 9 kids with the same professionalism she brought to her 6 years as a naval officer. And the Navy pilot and mother whose husband resigned his commission so she could advance her soaring career. I personally am delighted for them both.
Thank
Mm.
you,
Wow.
Jane. Yeah, women's work. Woo! And
right.
ways. Lovely. Thank you so much. And welcome to newcomers. We are moving right along with Michelle Finley. Hello.
Hello. Introducing the word misogyny to students decades ago, I lamented not knowing a counterbalancing term or power supported concept in mainstream United States. Misanthropy, a particularly attentive student, burst forward impulsively one time from the front row. When I explained why they didn't quite fit, they took it as a personal challenge to fetch the antonym to the foundation of sexism and return triumphantly. With a sly smile, I suggested perhaps the very fact one had to search spoke eloquently of the need for a shift in conventional consciousness around honoring powerful, positive attributes of girls and women. A few days released from my unprecedented graduate student experience, I began my wide eyed journey through a consciousness healing retreat, women's camp in the California Sierra Nevada mountains, where we communally self defined identity, acknowledging how we stand on our ancestors' shoulders. Vigorously, dramatically, yet supportively, initial layers of patriarchal blindness were washed from my naive, internalized eyes as we struggled to discern what medicines we possessed and needed, improvising as challenges arose. A couple hundred souls erupted painful fear longing for connection into a timeless current, which was our shared American historical reality from the inside out. After bonding tribally, we danced, grounded in 7 dimensions of ritual reconfiguration of diverse lineal spirits in the large, forgiving tree-lined bosom of meadow into peaceful community under the warm caress of sunlight. Cradled by the heart-healing rhythms of African indigenous polyrhythms. Then joyfully, parthenogenically, birthed many new proliferations of consciousness-raising ventures, which I became devoted to organizing and or supporting. Mujeres Unidas was my first visionary collaboration, fertilized and motivated by that camp. Our Petaluma camp, comprised of a powerful egalitarian female presence, expressed supremely diverse sparklings of spirit-inspired sharing that birthed Women of Color Camp, set in Philo, where big sisters suckled my evolution towards the bones of my own authentic womanhood through a fun annual renewals of spirit at the Navarro River, whereupon I nakedly lay down my burdens. Always amazing, collectively prepared meals, well seasoned by the beaming faces of flavorful women, serendipitously bonding through leisurely activities, conversations, and performances. Building bridges to ourselves through unprecedented interpersonal mutual caretaking, bathed in abundant, tearful laughter. It became an organically sustainable, ongoing sisterhood at home and beyond the 10 years of rejuvenating camps. At home, Sisters of the Yam met circumlunarly to purge ourselves of internalized misogyny and racism. Women's Church emphasized the femaleness in the dynamically shifting divine. I came to experience Orisha and Elohim as necessarily synonymous, plural and singular, female and male, infinitely unknowable, infinitely knowable, a profoundly healthier version of that force which creates and sustains all life. I began to break free from the misogynist shackles of unconscious yet pervasive, systemically taught self devaluation that prevented healing my heart through the drum since repressed girlhood cravings. I reveled in my djembe classes, full moon sacred women's circles with umbilical ties to the Congolese community, and conjoined Moon Sisters community maintained drum camps at Point Bonita. Marching with Sister Boom, a samba band for social justice, connected with drumming classes and parties. Then, born to drum camps, where the magic of the drum opens women's hearts, permitting us to actualize the interactions we want to see in the world, intentionally, inclusively. Since puberty, I have sought to exorcise the dreaded beast that drove me lightning, fang, and claw into suicidal depressions, teens through 30s. Listening to women's stories, I am deeply saddened how virulently females are traditionally punished internationally for seeking this healing, including violence and death threats. Cumulatively, the medicine from our resurgent drumming community has implemented shifts in perspective and behavior in me that have saved my life. Now we have a one-word trophy for that spirited young man, so chagrined not to find a word representing the antithesis of misogyny. A seed-level antidote, thirsting for fresh evolution in the mind hearts of each and every one of us. Interpersonally, spiritually, communally, shifting power systems to bloom in the direction of healthy consciousness. I envision his relief, body, breath, and balls, in first hearing it. Philogyny.
Thank you, Michelle.
Wow.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Woo, I love the word. I love it. Okay. Sarah, you are on. Sarah Ford. Hello.
Thank you. This is I Am a Dancer, remembering, discovering my body as a dancer, discovering who I was. When my mother and I arrive at my dancing school on Mesquite Street in Abilene, there are a lot of people talking in the room. Everyone here is practicing for the recital that our teacher, Mrs. Milstead, is putting together with all of her students. Mrs. Milstead is very tall and can be heard above all the other voices. She likes to sing and sometimes will ask us to dance to her song. She has a big laugh and makes you want to laugh with her. I am shy, so I don't do that at first, but after a while, even I start to laugh. This dancing room is in the back of her house. We always walk through her fancy living room to get to this dancing room. And most of the time, the guest, she greets us at the door and takes you by the hand and leads you to the dancing room. But today, it's different. And my mother walks with me. All the sounds make me feel excited and kind of scared. I am handed a very short princess skirt. It's pink. I think it is called something else. And someone I don't know is helping my mother to put it on me. The elastic snaps. Oh, ouch. But finally, it's on. My mother, with a big smile on her face, says, it's called a tutu. There are a lot of other dancers here. I am 6. I think they might be as well. Mrs. Milstead is putting a record on with music that we have heard before, and everyone is walking, sometimes running over to see her, to see what she is doing. There is a ceiling fan turning above us. It is very warm. I don't even notice the very bright sun coming through the windows, filling the room with a lot of light. I like running and jumping with my skirt on. It goes up and down and up and down and up. And while I move, we are all running around the room and the mothers are trying to help. And then Mrs. Milstead says, I want all of you beautiful fairies to sit down and we will watch all the dancers one at a time to show us their special dance for today. But first, let's be very quiet so that we can watch. And then there was finally an almost silent audience. But you could hear some feet still moving around, and one little girl is beginning to cry again. A mother consoles her by putting her fairy crown back on her head. Well, it had fallen off. Mrs. Milstead says, "Who would like to go first?" No one says that she will. And then suddenly, two fairies say that they want to dance together. They get up and they run to the center of the room, and the teacher puts on the music. They run all over the dancing space, and then they come together and jump backwards and sit down side by side. They laugh and giggle, and they do a very large bow. And everyone claps, and they bow again, and they run to sit down. Mrs. Milstead points to me, sitting on the far left side of the group to show my dance. At first, I did not know that she meant me, and someone, I think it was my mother, says, Sarah, shh, go up, it's your turn." I get up in my new pink ballet shoes and my new ballerina tutu that I didn't know the name of before. And I run to the center of the room. The music starts, and I jump to the right, and then maybe to the left. And I do a very slow turnaround. And then I discovered I liked this turning part of my dance. And I begin to turn, and I turn, and I turn, and I turn, and I turn, feeling so free and being able to turn so well. I like this. I like the smooth floor, and I like this music. I could turn forever. This is so much fun. And then the music stops. I'm still turning and turning, and I don't even feel dizzy. And Mrs. Milstead says, "Thank you, Sarah." And I'm still turning, though, slowing down and then sitting on the floor. And I'm still spinning and spinning. And I want to do this again. It's someone else's turn, though. I don't want to sit and watch more dances, but I have to watch more dances. I want to do it again. At home, my mother tells me to stop running around so much and stop jumping all over the place. I think it's time to quiet down, young lady. I think to myself, I don't want to quiet down. I want to dance. Dance.
Yay! Lovely. Oh, so sweet. And we want you to dance. Yes, we all want to dance with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Eric. Eric Starkey with your
Hi.
Philogyny shirt on. Yes.
Yes. And can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. We're out of balance. The feminine in our nature is built of love. The masculine in our nature is built of fear. Love is the ocean, and fear is the wave. At one point in the history of our species, these two forces complemented each other. Love creating joy in being, fear defending against very real dangers. But over the last several millennia, as we've used fear to incrementally overcome existential dangers and gain greater and greater security, the instinct to guard against has become distorted. What once served our survival has now become a stone around our necks, dragging us towards annihilation. There are no more lions to defend against. Yet the fear has remained. And in the absence of real threats, we manufacture dangers. Fear of the other, fear of losing it all, fear that we aren't enough, fear of irrelevance. Our mastery of fear has brought us here. But as a wise man once said, it is time to put away childish things. It was Saturday morning, December 3rd, 2005, and I was drowsily contemplating sleeping in. Carrie was awake in the bathroom, brushing her teeth, I think. She called out to me with fear in her voice. And when I got to her, she was standing near the sink, a pool of water at her feet, and the front of her sleep shirt was wet. I think my water broke, she said. That moment is clear in my memory, but everything immediately after is foggy. Her due date wasn't for another week, and we'd scheduled her cesarean procedure with Dr. Cycle for that precise date. But now we were here, and we were early. I vaguely remember getting her dressed, grabbing our go bag, and speeding to the hospital. Once we checked in, we learned that Dr. Cycle, our OBGYN, was still on his vacation. But the charge nurse assured us that Dr. Sonja Hughes was informed on our case and could easily step in. When we met her, my first thought was that she must be just out of medical school. Carrie thought she looked like a high school cheerleader. But we were here and we were early. Dr. Hughes smiled as she talked, and she told us that this was all going to be okay, better than okay. We were going to meet our daughter in a couple of hours. A trio of nurses swarmed in, getting Carrie undressed and laid onto an operating table. They gave me scrubs, booties for my feet, a mask, and a paper hat to wear when I told them that I wanted to be in the room. The anesthesiologist rolled Carrie onto her side to administer the spinal block, and after rolling her back over, they stretched a gray vinyl curtain over her midsection so that she couldn't see what was about to happen. I sat in a chair at Carrie's shoulder, looking into her eyes and making sure that she could see that I was smiling under the mask. I took her hand. There was a mirror hanging just beyond the curtain, and from where I was sitting, I could see the nurse smear a reddish iodine cream at the base of her basketball-sized belly. Dr. Hughes asked, "You going to be okay there, Mr. Starkey?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I grew up on a farm." "Great," she said. "Very good then." One nurse and the anesthesiologist monitored Carrie's vitals as Dr. Hughes made a quick 8-inch incision, while the second nurse used a small white wand to cauterize the blood vessels, following just behind the doctor's blade. I remember the smell. And Dr. Hughes inserted her blue-gloved hands into Carrie's wound, only to reappear moments later, holding a squirming, bloodied, and white creature. She laid the impossibly tiny person on a small table next to her to peel away a milky membrane, and she stuck her finger into Elaine's mouth like a hook to pull the mucus out of her airway. The nurse put 2 clamps on the sinewy umbilical cord, and Dr. Hughes asked me if I would like to cut it. "No, thanks," I said. "You go ahead." So she did the honors, and the nurse wrapped Elaine in a tiny blue blanket and carried her to another table next to a sink with a shower head faucet on the other side of the room. "You can get her cleaned up while we close up here," the doctor said. I followed the nurse to the sink, and I mostly watched as she gently washed the chalky white and bloodied film out of Elaine's hair, her back, face, chest, bottom, and legs. Elaine was howling now. Her tiny fists and feet were punching and kicking against the shock of this blinding white light, cool air. I wondered, what must she be thinking? Once she was clean, the nurse swaddled her in a fresh white blanket, and we brought her to Carrie's shoulder so that she could see her daughter for the first time. She held Elaine, and we both cried. I only remember brief glimpses of the next few days, like a montage in a movie. I remember our TV in our sterile but cozy room played The Wizard of Oz continuously for 24 hours. I remember trying and failing with hands that felt like hooves to dress this tiny squirming Elaine into her infant onesie. I remember our related relief when Carrie finally got Elaine to latch. I remember the ice storm that covered the roads with frigid glass the day we brought her home. I remember waking in the middle of the night when she cried, and I remember waking in the middle of the night when she was quiet, because we had to check to make sure she was still there. And now I remember that bright white room where Elaine took her first breath was full of women and full of love. Love so intense that it perforated the veil of reality until the moment stood outside of time,
Yeah.
casting wonder and awe into the soul of the world. I was just a spectator. And I was in over my head. I had everything to fear, everything to lose. But the love I experienced in that place held me up and showed me that it was all worth it. Because fear isn't real. In truth, everything is made of love.
I love you so much.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. June Ballinger, how are you? I'm so
Good.
glad you're here. In June, it will be our last reader, and I might have a little pinch of something for you at the end. June, take it away.
This is a short 4-minute excerpt from a larger piece called The Crone Barrier. I'm still working on it. This is a new bit that I'm just working through, and I just want to test drive it here. So this particular excerpt, which is towards the end. And this is the background. For 70 years, 70, not 17, for 70 years, June has been told she doesn't react to trauma the way normal people would. So her friend Wendy drags her into a sexual empowerment and pussy stroking workshop and into a cosmic landscape of memory led by a cryptic Virgin Mary and family ghosts. At this point in the story that I'm going to read now, June has remarried to an amateur astronomer and astrophotographer. Here, she just learned her ex-husband Stephen has died, and she looks to the cosmos to hold that loss. You know, when a star dies, runs out of fuel, it collapses or explodes, but it doesn't disappear. Its matter is scattered into the cosmos, consumed by new stars. Dust to stardust. Goodbye, Stephen. And as that part of me ends, something new consumes my life. My husband and I have a child. Okay, now I'm not going to tell you about all that. The dead are allowed poetry. The living deserve privacy. What you need to know is that some of the most meaningful days of my life were about to take shape. Motherhood, work I loved, success, but still, I too often say yes when I mean no. Saying no hurts. And then one day I wake up and I'm 60. Oh, life is moving too fast. I'm running out of time, so I start saying hell yes to everything, joining everything in sight, as if yes can push me through some invisible barrier to whatever's on the other side of this age thing. I jokingly call it the crone barrier. Yes, crone, traditionally portrayed as a frightening old hag, but not anymore. Today, we see the crone as the clear-eyed keeper of wisdom, at times a witch or a warrior, sometimes a wanton, and with the power to lift barriers. There's something important at this stage of my life. 60 becomes 70, still seeking. What will it take to push through resistance and just change? Reaching for answers once again, I look up, and then Astro Husband shows me what lies outside the edge of our universe. The heliopause, the boundary at the very edge of everything we know. Solar wind pushing out, the dark, endless everything pushing in. Neither wins. They hold each other there in a fluid equilibrium. Wait, so my crone barrier is a boundary. So if I can meet an opposing force with equal pressure while staying grounded and present, my resistance can lift. And that barrier, created by a lifetime of seeking approval, accommodating others, silencing myself, that barrier becomes a threshold. Cross it and meet a new kind of power. I can do this. I've done this. I want to share this with Wendy, but she'll just drag me into another workshop. So I'm going to create my own private woo-woo empowerment ritual and take myself on a heroine's journey. I start with Ursula's warm-up. Scrape away old trauma, scrape away those memories, scrape away all the times you abandon your genitals, abandon yourself, scrape it all out. I place one hand to my heart and the other on my mound of Venus. It's like that famous painting, Venus on the half shell, born from the ocean foam into the space between chaos and calm. Venus isn't covering herself. Venus is connecting herself. Suddenly, a wave comes and I dive through it down to the calm part below. And when I come up, I hang in that space between ocean and stars. Where am I? Some planet? Hello, June? Virgin Mary? Wait, am I in heaven? Let's just say you're in the place where poems are born. And you can just call me Mary. To be continued.
Beautiful. And that's part of a one-woman show that you're completing and performing. Lovely.
Yes.
Yay! Thank you all for coming and for these beautiful, rich, gorgeous stories. We're here the first Sunday of every month for stories, and in September, I'd love for you to join us. It's called The Fruits of Our Labor, and it's a Writer's Resistance theme. And look for Philogyny Global Alliance, and you're all wonderful. Spread the word. Philogyny, thank you all for coming. Thank you so much to my readers. Mwah, 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 mwah. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Brilliant.
Everyone's wonderful.
Thanks so much.